Hey everybody, steveo here from Movies and TVs on the Ball, and welcome to TV Time / pilot season. Come fly with me, where I look at the pilot episode of your favorite television shows and give you my thoughts on what's gonna happen, or what my thoughts are. So today I saw the pilot episode for Desperate Housewives. And the reason why, if you're wondering, Steve, why did you pick Desperate Housewives? Well, the reason why I picked it was because since I talked about on a previous episode about Superman, um, Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman, I did a podcast on that episode. I kind of thought, well, why don't I look at other Terry Hatcher stuff? And before I got into before I got into doing looking her filmography, I was like, I've never seen an episode of Desperate Housewives. Just watch the pilot and see how it goes. And so the pilot works pretty well. It starts, we've got the narrator, and it's sort of like the narrator is is one of the neighbors who ends up tragically um, uh, killing herself, and that kind of sparks the whole storyline where we see Gabrielle, played by Eva Longoria, um, um, and Felicity Huffman and Terry Hatcher and Marcia Clark, I think is her name. They're all coming to her funeral, her funeral, and they pretty much talk about her and how she made chick or like how she lived her life and everything, and we kind of see the pilot pretty much sets up who everybody is. We have Gabrielle, who is married to a rich businessman who really kind of treats her like a trophy wife. We've got Terry Hatcher's character, who is a divorced mother who lives with a teenage daughter and they have a new neighbor who comes by, and she's trying to kind of ask him out by he's a handyman, and so she uses kind of different kind of props to get him into fixing the house so they can meet cute kind of thing. Then you have Felicity Huffman, who has four kids, and her story plot line is that she's kind of the one that's raising kids, and her husband works. The pilot really kind of sets everything up. I like these characters pretty much. Marcia, speaking of characters, I did like Marcia Clark, I think is her name. She is sort of the Stepford housewife, if you will. She kind of has she wants to have this kind of perfect life. She's kind of wears pearls. She kind of has that 1950s kind of look, that her life has to be kind of the perfect family. And so it kind of the pilot pretty much really works where it deals with kind of each body's sort of subplots of the four women. Terry Hatcher is trying to get the attraction of a man who's the carpenter. Eva Longoria is having trouble with her husband, and sleeping around with, I think it's John Tucker or the Jesse Medcamp, I think is his name, who played John Tucker from John Tucker Must Die. He's in this pilot. You have, and I think the pilot works pretty well. It's a show that I think I think it's really driven by character development, and I'm kind of interested in kind of how this show is going to kind of take off. And I kind of look at it as, yeah, it's an okay show. I mean, I think it's not very, it's kind of deceiving in a way because it's, I think the title is a kind of a dead giveaway of, you're thinking, oh, it's Desperate Housewives. It sounds like something steamy, but really it's more about these characters. And I'm really, the pilot gives me kind of, or the first part of the pilot gives me kind of hope that it's pretty good, but I'll come back later for the second part of the pilot and give you my thoughts. Welcome to part 2 of the Desperate Housewives pilot. This is episode 2 called But Underneath. And this one, I feel like the pilot episode really kind of started to kind of get to, we kind of knew the characters and where they're going. And this one, I think, really brought, kind of really placed the characters to where they are in the story. We have pretty much, and I think that's kind of how the series will work throughout. But the first episode has them all kind of together, and then we kind of see how each of the characters go on in the episode. So in one way, Gabrielle, or we'll start with Gabrielle. She's having an affair with John Tucker, and they're trying to keep it away from her husband. And then there's kind of and then they sit around and kind of talk about about what the letter is about, or not the letter, but the there's a MacGuffin. They talk about the note of that they found, and we're asking them what they should do about it, and that's kind of where their characters are going. And the son of the narrator is dealing with some stuff, stuff. And then we get the redhead is dealing with kind of her divorce, divorce and marriage counseling. Terry Hatcher is dealing with trying to be friendly with the new neighbor, and they have a rivalry with she has a rivalry with another neighbor about this this new neighbor that's come over. And I like the fact that the husband and the daughter and her are kind of helping her hook her up with him. And it's a pretty good episode. I like, then we get to see where Felicity Huffman is dealing with her kids, and how she gets pulled. She ends up getting pulled over, and you can tell that she just have a stressful day and everything. And and then you see Miranda Clark being in I can't remember her name. The redhead being in a sorry, I'm doing this late, part 2 late, but redhead doing this redhead Miranda Clark having a going through counseling and that thing, and then there's sort of this. There's this other Lois Lane, Terry Hatcher is really having a fight. Kind of having a fight with the new neighbor. Kind of a cat fight between one of the neighbors and the new neighbor. They're fighting over this guy, and I think it's kind of funny and kind of works pretty well. This episode is a pretty decent episode for part 2. I think it really makes it work really well. I mean, I think the narration is what makes this show good, but I really think that for part 2 of Desperate Housewives, it does have a really long episode. So after watching the pilot and watching part 2, I'll have to say I really like this episode. I kind of like this show. It works okay for what it is. I like the fact that there's sort of a small mystery going on that probably build up throughout the 6 seasons, but the first 2 episodes are great. I like think Terry Hatcher's daughter, she's interesting, spunky, and kind of in a way, and Gabrielle is dealing with her trying to not let Carlos, I think is her husband's name, know that she's hanging out with John Tucker. But it's a good episode. I think it's a good, first 2 episodes are pretty strong. I think it works really well. If you've seen these, let me know what your thoughts are. And who knows, I might continue it down the road, but I just wanted to kind of get a first taste of, or first kind of feel, kind of a first. I've never seen this episode, so let me try it out. Episode with Desperate Housewives. So that's my look at Desperate Housewives pilot, if you will. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, and as always, like and subscribe. Peace.